Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025. We've reached, of course, the middle of the week, hump day. So hopefully everybody's, getting over the hump, as it were. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. Um, anyways, so we're obviously gonna give people a chance to come in um, before we get started. So again, I hope everybody's having a good week thus far, getting over the hump. I'm sure many of you are already starting to look forward to the weekend. Um, as we wait for more people to show up, hopefully. Um, uh, as I said, as we wait for more people to show up. Oh, hello, there we go. Anyways, a friendly reminder, of course, if you guys can help me out by, of course, liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here, anything we talk about um, grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions best of my ability. Now that we do have like three people in here, I guess I'll get started a little bit early and talk a little bit about what's on tap for tonight. So, got a couple of articles I'm going to go over tonight. One from Me TV Tunes and the other from Bounding into Comics. First one, which came out on Monday here, the Me TV Tunes one. So a bit more for those of you who like watching classic cartoons, and for those of you who may have the Me TV Tunes service, whether it be on friendly TV or via an antenna like TV. You know, there has been some scheduling updates. Looks like they're going to be changing their schedule around a little bit and adding some shows that they had said that they had. So some more Hanna Barbera stuff among them, um, including the House of Hanna Barbera. Also, the other article we're going to go over is from Bounding into Comics, as it's come out that apparently the Joe Schuster estate is suing Warner Brothers over, I don't know all the details, so we'll go learn the details together, over the details of the latest Superman movie from James Gunn. So we're going to take a look at that as well. Um, Also, of course, we'll have the wrestling wrap up and then this day in each history. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started? As I said, if anything grabs your attention as we get going here, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. And if you haven't already, you can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated as well. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and jump right into this? Let me just go grab the first article here. Let's see. The first article we're going to be, of course, looking at here. So get there. Is this one? Here comes the House of Hanna-Barbera. Secrets out, Hanna-Barbera's in. So now some of these cartoons they've actually had ready for a while, but I don't know why they hadn't been showing them. I mean, now mind you, Me TV Tunes has been around since June of last year. Of course, it came out. It debuted June 25th, 2024. So now 8 months, about a little over 7 months later, of course, now they're finally really changing things up. I'm not just talking about the minor changes here and there, rotation wise or what have you, but it really kind of seems like they're mixing it up and bringing in more of the Hanna-Barbera properties they have. So, so here we go. Here comes Hanna. Here comes the house of Hanna-Barbera. Secrets out. Hanna-Barbera's in. All right. So here's the latest on it. We are so excited to announce a brand new show joining the MeTV Toons family, House of Hanna-Barbera. For all of you cartoon fans who have been asking for classic Hanna-Barbera shorts, including Magilla Gorilla, Huckleberry Hound, Lippy the Lion, Wally Gator, Touche Turtle, and many more, this is a show for you. This truly is a gathering of the greatest cartoons of all time. The Hanna-Barbera studio produced hundreds of cartoons during its 67-year run. Many Hanna-Barbera characters have become beloved and permanent pop culture icons, according to animation historian and author of the Hanna-Barbera Treasury, Jerry Beck. Quote, "These cartoons are the cream of the crop. These cartoons are filled with the voices that became the soundtrack of our childhood." Now, for those of us who grew up from anywhere between the late 50s into the early 90s, we know this. We grew, a lot of us, whether when they were running in first, rather when they were running first run on either the networks or first run syndication, or in reruns in syndication afterwards. Many of us did probably grow up on Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw, all the good stuff, right? All right. So, anyways, getting back to the article here. Let's see now. Where were we? Let's see. These cartoons are filled with the voices that became a soundtrack to our childhood. And here's the best news. They are still funny. In fact, they seem to have gotten better over time. I'm laughing at jokes that went way over my head when I saw them as a kid. That's why these cartoons are important to us, and why we still love them, love time today. I think he meant to say love them, but we are so excited to be bringing these nostalgic cartoons back to longtime fans and to introduce these classic gems to new audiences as well. House of Hanna-Barbera is filled with the huge library of characters. It's an mansion of animation. Interesting phrasing there. Starting February 17th, so a week from this coming Monday, basically 12 days from now, House of Hanna-Barbera will air on weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific, and Sundays at 1 p.m., 12 Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. Of course, the big question, of course, for some of the current programming, because right now what's airing on at 1 p.m. is Flintstones Family Sundays. I wonder what they're going to do with that. They're going to move that, maybe further into maybe a couple hours later, because Sunday afternoons, 1 p.m. right now you have Flintstones Family Sunday, and then at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, you have Scooby Sunday Specials. So will one or both those shows get moved or taken out? I guess I haven't. I did look a few days to the schedule. Haven't seen what's going to happen on the Sunday side of it. But but I'll tell you something. I like what I see because they moved around a lot of stuff. Now, part of this may have been partly due to the fact that recently the distributor for Rocky and Bullwinkle asked MeTV Tunes to pause airing it. I guess they're in negotiations to try to bring that back soon enough. They had to figure out what they could do in the meantime. So this is probably a good thing. And plus, they recently announced, of course, that they'll be showing the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon as well, starting in March. So now we're seeing a lot of movement here in terms of, bringing in a little more stuff here. But we will also be hosting a sneak peek of House of Hanna-Barbera on Sunday, February 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Tune in to get a look at our brand new show. House of Hanna-Barbera will be a 2-hour block, jam-packed with your favorite Hanna-Barbera shorts. Here is a list of the characters who will be joining us on MeTV Tunes. So I guess now they're going to be showing just the short. They were trying to do the shows, like part of they had the Peter Potamus show, Adamant, Secret Squirrel Hour, and they'd be rotating the shows back and forth and all of that. But I don't know. I know one of the reasons why they held back, like, weren't seeing like Huckleberry Hound or Yogi Bear as much, because supposedly, I guess they were trying to get all the shorts together so they put them back together as with the original shows. I don't know if something happened with that or not, but it's still going to be good after seeing the same things rotating in and out for such a long time here. It's going to be nice to see some stuff getting rotated in that we haven't seen in a while. So, all right, Huckleberry Hound. The hound that started it all, Huckleberry Hound, is one of the earliest Hanna-Barbera characters. Not only that, but he's also the first ever TV cartoon to win an Emmy Award. Now, mind you, he's one of the first, but he's not the first. Actually, after Hanna-Barbera started up their own company, their first television cartoon, which was in syndication, was actually Rough and Ready in 1957. Huckleberry Hound came out in 1958. Of course, at that time, they had Huckleberry Hound, Pixie, Dixie, and Mr. Jinx, and Yogi Bear. And then, of course, Yogi Bear eventually became so popular, he eventually got his own show. And we'll talk more about, all that as time goes on here. We get more into this article. Let's see. So, anyways, continuing on with this. Yogi Bear. Hey, guard your picnic baskets, because Yogi Bear is joining House of Hanna-Barbera and Boo Boo and the rest of the Jellystone crew too. So Yogi Bear from the Yogi Bear show, and from what I saw earlier too, when I was looking over this article and looking over the upcoming schedule for the next couple of weeks here, apparently they are finally bringing in the Yogi Bear show itself as well. So that's going to be, but we're going to see more of that. Pixie and Dixie and Mr. Jinx. A much requested fan favorite, Pixie and Dixie and Mr. Jinx is joining the lineup. Get ready to hear, I hate Mises to pieces. Of course, Pixie and Dixie, these shorts were originally part of the Huckleberry Hound show, along with Yogi Bear, as we mentioned earlier. So now moving along to the next one here. Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along. Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along was originally a segment on the Magilla Gorilla show. A rabbit sheriff and his deputy coyote go on high-speed adventures in the Old West. Yeah. So, bing, 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 Ricochet Rabbit. Anyways, continuing on, then let's see, pumpkin, pumpkin puss and mush mouse, mush mouse. Now this is probably one that's probably a little lesser known because even I didn't even know about this until actually I got older. I didn't remember watching this as a kid. It wasn't as syndicated, but years later when Boomerang started airing this, that's when I first kind of caught wind of this. But a wild and exciting cat and mouse series set in the southern U.S. Pumpkin Puss is obsessed with capturing Mush Mouse, um, who often recruits his cousins to outsmart the hillbilly cat. And I think this one might have been part. I don't. I think this one might. I don't remember if it was part of the. I think it was part of the. It might have been part of the Magilla Gorilla series, but or it might have been part. Or it might have been. Let's see. Or it might have been. Let's see. I don't want to think. Well, yeah, it was part of the Magilla because they're saying copyright 1964. I was thinking it might have been part of the. I'm thinking it was part of the possibly the Quick Draw McGraw show, but that one came out in 1959. That was like the third official Hanna-Barbera cartoon that came out in 1959. So Snagglepuss. Now Snagglepuss was, of course, part of the Yogi Bear show. It was one of the segments from the Yogi Bear show. Heavens to Murgatroyd! Snagglepuss is joining too, for a character who often exclaims, "Exit stage left!" Now he's entering stage right onto House of Hanna-Barbera. We got Squiddly Diddly, who of course was a part of the Secret Squirrel portion of the Adamant Secret Squirrel show. Squiddly Diddly is a purple anthropomorphic squid who loves to play music and is desperate to escape from his captivity in Bubble Land. Yaki Doodle, one of the features from Yogi Bear from the Yogi Bear show. Yaki Doodle and his best friend Chopper the Bulldog, have also found a home on House of Hanna-Barbera. This cute little duckling will have you singing, quote, ta-ra-ra-boom, da-da, all day long. Breezely and Sneezely, who is, of course, a part of the Peter Potamus show. A polar bear and his right-hand seal, Breezely and Sneezely, started off as a segment on the Peter Potamus show. They live in an igloo in the Arctic and are always trying to break into the local camp, usually for snacks. The local army camp. Yeah, up north. Hokey Wolf. Now, Hokey Wolf was, of course, a segment that actually replaced Yogi Bear when Yogi Bear became popular and got his own show in 1961. Hokey Wolf replaced him on Huckleberry Hound. He became the third feature on Huckleberry Hound after Yogi split off into his own show. Hokey Wolf is a con artist, but he just wants to live the good life. He has a sidekick, Dingaling Wolf. Again, you got the tall wolf and the smaller wolf. Most of their scams backfire on them in the end. Loopy the Loop. Now this one, I don't remember if this one was his own show or if don't exactly remember. This might have actually been his, but if these were shorts, he was part of probably somebody else's show. I just don't remember off the top of my head which one he was a part of. Another wolf. This wolf is a gentleman, a French-Canadian gentleman, who is on a mission to do good deeds and prove that not all wolves are bad. Now, mind you, too, a lot of these characters, maybe not every single one of them, but a lot of these characters were voiced by Dawes Butler. You'll probably hear a lot of Dawes Butler and Don Messick in many of these characters. Not all of them, but many of them. Wally Gator. Now, Wally Gator, I do remember, was from the new Hanna-Barbera cartoon show that came out. I believe it was in 72 or 73 when that one came out. Some early 70s there. That one came out. Many fans have asked about Wally Gator joining New TV Toons. Here he is. Wally Gator, like many of the other characters, lives in captivity, a zoo, and longs to break free only to end up returning home every time. We hope you're as excited as we are that Wally is joining our new show. I am. I'm excited for all these. It's gonna be good to see. It's gonna be good to be watching this. When I get up in the morning, and between for me here in California, when I'm getting up in the morning, and let's say between 8 and 10 in the morning, as I'm of course just getting myself ready and stuff like that, flip on House of Hanna-Barbera for during the time for whether it's just a few minutes or half hour here or there at a time. It's gonna be interesting to watch some of these. Let's see now. And again, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So with that, let's continue on here. Touche Turtle and Dum Dum. This one's another one that I believe was part of the new Hanna-Barbera cartoon show in 73. On Guard, Touche Turtle and Dum Dum. Dum Dum, I think, was a dog who dressed much like a musketeer, like Touche Turtle. And Dum Dum wouldn't necessarily be the first. Actually, he probably was the first one, but there were a few that came after who were kind of also like dressed in medieval night. But anyways, our two brave fencers who while not entirely competent, battle villains and save those in distress. Winsome Witch. Of course, this one was a segment on. This one's a segment on Secret Squirrel Show. Winsome Witch, as I recall, is voiced by the late great Jean Vanderpill. Of course, the same woman who provided the voices of course, Wilma Flintstone, Rosie the Robot, and many other female Hanna-Barbera cartoons over the years. Friendly, magical, and just a bit of sassy. That's the spell to create the Winsome Witch. She often talks about how she loves everything and enjoys ordering her broom around as she goes on adventures. Adam Ant, of course, who had his own show in 1965, I believe. Up and Adam Ant, a superhero ant who fights evil villains from his anthill base. The Hillbilly Bears, of course, one of the segments from the Adam Ant show. Land sakes, Pa! Another fan favorite. We are happy to announce that Ma, Pa, Floral, and Shag Rug will be joining the House of Hanna-Barbera. Of course, Pa Rug, voiced by the late great Henry Corden. Ma Rug is, of course, another voice that Jean Vanderpill did. Floral Rug, I believe, is a voice that Janet Walder did. Janet Walder did a few voices there. So let's see. Precious Pup, another segment from Adam Ant. Another segment from the Adam Ant show. Precious Pup and Granny Sweet are brooming onto MeTV Tunes. Of course, Granny Sweet is another one who was voiced by Janet Waldo, and I believe Don Messick did the voice of Precious Pup there. Magilla Gorilla, of course, voiced by the late great Alan Melvin, having done a few voices for Hanna-Barbara, as well as, of course, being Barney from All in the Family, Archie's friend. Gorilla for Sale, another highly requested fan favorite, Magilla OG, and OG's another voice that was done by Gene Vanderbilt, and Mr. Peebles will be appearing on House of Hanna-Barbera. Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har. I believe he might have been one. Let's see. They don't show the. I believe Lippy the Lion is the third one that was on the Hanna-Barbera new cartoon show. The goofy, get-rich-quick misadventures of an opportunistic lion and his pessimistic hyena buddy. Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har. Then we got Secret Squirrel, who, of course, had his own segment. He was the other half of the Adam Ant Secret Squirrel show. This Cloak and Dagger cartoon is filled with spies, gadgets, and adventures, starring Secret Squirrel and Morocco Mole. There we go. So watch House of Hanna-Barbera weekdays at 8 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and Sundays 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific on MeTV Tunes. So there we go with the first article there. So let's see. So now we're going to move on to the second article here. And we'll head over to Bounding into Comics. As the second article we're going to look at is, of course, this one, as soon as there we go. So this is the other one I mentioned earlier. The estate of Joe Shuster is apparently suing Warner Brothers over the latest. So Superman producer Warner Brothers is hit with lawsuit by the estate of character's co-creator Joe Shuster ahead of film's release. Article by J.B. Augustine, published February 4th, 2025. So that was article from yesterday. So let's take a look at this, see what's going on here. There's no dispute that Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Studios, including its co-president, James Gunn, who also directs the upcoming film, wants Superman to be a big deal. A lot is riding on it, so it has to be successful. And they must keep building momentum and enthusiasm for the release, which is only 6 months from now. So 6 months from now, from February 4th. So I guess it's coming out in early August then. August 4th, I would take it. Unfortunately for them, not everything is going according to plan. Reports of supposedly bad buzz for the movie broke late last year, and if that wasn't bad enough, things got a bit worse. The estate of the Man of Steel's co-creator and artist, Joe Shuster, has filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers and DC that could threaten Superman's distribution in a few critical territories. The suit was filed in a New York City federal court. Still, per The Independent and other sources, Schuster's estate is basing its case on British copyright laws, stipulating character rights should revert to a creator's estate 25 years after his death. Schuster passed away in 1992. So 25 years, that would have been 2017. So a reversion would be overdue by almost a decade. Yeah? However, it would only apply outside the United States, where the Schuster estate is seeking back pay in territories including the United Kingdom, um, Canada, and Australia. The lawsuit claims WB didn't pay royalties to the estate for the use of the character in these countries. So they're trying to get back royalties um, from, I guess, the times they did use, um, as well as damages. Lawyers for the estate are seeking, quote, a court order that would prevent depictions of Superman without a license, unquote. If the lawsuit goes anywhere, it could jeopardize the release of Gunn's film in the British Commonwealth and around the world. Um, yeah, basically anywhere within that, because they'd be in violation, and if they released in those countries. If quote, we fundamentally disagree with the merits of the lawsuit and will vigorously defend our rights, unquote, responded a rep for Warner's. Quote, this suit is not intended to deprive fans of their next Superman, but rather seeks just compensation for Joe Shuster's fundamental contributions as the co-creator of Superman, unquote. Schuster estate lawyer Mark Toberoff said in contrast. Superman was created in 1938 by Schuster and Jerry Siegel. DC took ownership and turned the property into a multi-million-dollar worldwide sensation, eminent in popular culture for nearly a century. For years, Siegel and Schuster struggled just to get recognition, never mind bylines and stipends. And of course, this was not achieved until the 90s. They actually started getting the very least the recognition in the 90s, right? The lawsuit claims the duo merely licensed the character rights to DC back in the day, and in parentheses here via Screen Rant, quote, defendants continue to exploit Superman across these jurisdictions without the Schuster estate's authorization, including in motion pictures, television series, and merchandise, in direct contravention of these countries' copyright laws, which require the consent of all joint copyright owners to do so, unquote. Previous lawsuits ruling in DC's favor declared the publisher legitimately bought the rights from the pair for the notorious sum of $130. Hmm. Hmm. It is going to be interesting, though, to see how they're going to get British copyright law to apply to America. Now, of course, I don't know if RJ is here. He might know a little bit more about this situation, if this is going to go anywhere or not. But it is kind of an interesting scenario, to say the least. This article actually, well, let's see, we're coming up on 34 minutes here. And I think I will, at this point, move on to the wrestling wrap-up. And, try to keep tonight's show under an hour here if possible. So with that, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the wrestling wrap. Of course, look back to last night's NXT, as well as look forward to tonight's Dynamite. So, with that being said, on last night, of course, again, for more of the fallout from so Last night's NXT, which aired on CW, was held from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Let me see. Oh, that's what it was. All right. So, as we said, coming out of the, of course, Royal Rumble. Coming off of her appearance in the Royal Rumble, Stephanie McCurr defeated JC Jane in her, of course, quest to try to regain the number one contendership to the NXT North American title, held by Jane's Fatal Influence stablemate, Fallon Henley. Of course, Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix were in JC Jane's corner. Stephanie McCurr trying to get some vengeance for Fallon's interference and get it, in shot, in a match against Shotzi for the number one contendership, the North American title. Ridge Holland defeats Channing Lorenzo of the family, who of course had North American champion Tony D'Angelo, as well as Luca Crucifino and Adriana Rizzo in his corner, as of course Ridge Holland continuing his war with Tony D'Angelo over the North American NXT North American title. Sol Ruca and Zarya, in a tag team match, Sol Ruca and Zarya defeated Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley with Shotzi in their corner. And then in another singles match, Carmen Petrovich with Ashante Adonis in her corner defeated Kalani Jordan. And the main event saw SmackDown's 8-Town Down Under of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller defeat the team of NXT champion Oba Femi and former NXT champion Trick Williams. Now, in other WWE news, of course, there's still been some talk that some of the possible plans for this year's WrestleMania, one of them being a possible three-way match between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. It's also been reported that now whether this part's a work or not, or a shoot, it's been made clear somewhat that at least supposedly Drew McIntyre has not been happy with his WWE booking of late. Now this may be a work, which means maybe a storyline that is just playing out. But going from really trying to take out all the bloodline members and go after Roman Reigns to now possibly being set up for a match with Damian Priest on SmackDown, as the two of them have been moved to SmackDown during this transfer window, as it were, has basically not made him too happy. There's also some talk that Alexa Bliss is now back with the company, is possibly heading to SmackDown to rejoin the Wyatt Six. There's also been some talk that Hollywood has shown some interest in Alexa Bliss as well. I'll have to stay tuned for that. Now, with all that being said, all the WWE news out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look ahead to tonight's Dynamite. Take a look ahead to tonight's Dynamite. As on tonight's AEW Dynamite, being held at the Gateway Center Arena in College Park, Georgia, with, of course, Excalibur, Taz, Tony Schiavone on commentary, airing on TBS. On tonight's show, of course, Will Ospreay will be taking on his his former United Empire stablemate Mark Davis in a singles match. Toni Storm in her preparation for to go up against Mariah May at Grand Slam in Brisbane, Australia, in a couple weeks here. Will be taking on Queen Aminata. The tag team match, the Hounds of Hell, Brody King and Buddy Matthews, will be taking on Don Callis family members of Kyle Fletcher and AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita. And then the main event sees Ricochet taking on Swerve Strickland in a feud that's been heating up over the last few weeks. Over the last few weeks here. As, of course, things keep building towards Grand Slam here in just under 2 weeks here, coming up on the 15th. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead now and get ready to move on to this day in Nietzsche history, as today is Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025. So let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So let's see here. 85, 2000, 1950, and 2000. All right. So with that being said, the first thing I would like to do is I'd like to wish a happy 75th birthday. So I pull his name up here. Happy 75th birthday to American actor and puppeteer Jonathan Freeman, most notably known for voicing Jafar in the Aladdin franchise, House of Mouse, and in the Hercules episode Hercules in the Arabian Night. Some of the other voices he's been include Eli Excelsior, Pandaris from American Dragon, Jake Lee, Paimon in Hell of a Boss episode Circus, and Satan in Celebrity Deathmatch episode Pandemonium. So happy 75th birthday to American actor and puppeteer Jonathan Freeman, the voice of Jafar from Walt Disney's productions of Aladdin and a few others. So now moving on to the next piece in each history, as we move ahead to 1985. On this date in 1985, the 150th issue of Archie and Me from Archie Comics went on sale on this date back in 1985. It sold for 65 cents, was 32 pages. Featured, of course, a couple of the Archie and Mr. Weatherby featured, Tangled Web, and Sabrina High Flyer. So, 40 years ago today, the 150th issue of Archie and Me went on sale on this date back in 1985. Now, moving ahead to the year 2000. The year 2000 now. On this date in the year 2000, Combat Zone Wrestling held its Night of Main Events event in Sewell, New Jersey, on this place back in 2000. The main event saw the late former ECW, the late four-time ECW World Tag Team Champion Cronus of the Eliminators, defeat Lobo and Madman Pondo in a three-way no-rope barbed wire cactus death match. Also on the card, John Zandig retained the CZW World Heavyweight title over TCK and Wife Beater in a three-way Taipei death match. Rick Blade retained the CZW Junior Heavyweight title over Mercury, and I believe that's Joey Mercury from not just the independent scene, but also from WWE. fame. Let's see. In a match for the CZW Tag Team titles, the Cashmerino brothers of Johnny Cashmere and Robbie Moreno defeated the Thrill Kill Cult of Diablos Macabre and Midnight to become the new champions. And the show opened up to a no contest between John Dahmer and Lord Everett DeVore. So there we go with that. And 2000 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. As also on this date in the year 2000, on this date in the year 2000 here, since Gaga Communications Incorporated, Gaga's 3D CG science fiction comedy drama film Alice went on sale was released in movie theaters on this date back in 2000. It was directed by Kenichi Majima. It was the first ever anime to be entirely computer animated. So on this date in the year 2000, 25 years ago, Alice from Gaga Communications premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in the year 2000. Let's see. And there we go with that. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, you guys can like and share the stream. See if we can get the show shared and see if we can get more people to watch and comment and all that. Hope everybody found this. Of course, we'll be back here with more Niche News tomorrow. Also, this Sunday, I'll be joined by Metal from the Vomitorium, as we will be looking back to comics that went on sale in April of 1940. We'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Quality Comics. Of course, we'll be reading through, of course, Hit Comics Volume 1, Issue 1, National Comics Volume 1, Issue 1, Smash Comics Volume 1, Issue 11, and Future Comics Volume 1, Issue 33. We'll be introducing you guys to such characters as Red Bee, Neon the Unknown, Uncle Sam, and Quality's version of Merlin, Jock Kellogg. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.